Hello dear students, today we will study chapter 5 Contemporary South Asia. Dear students, when we talk about South Asia, then we count some countries here in this region, and name of those countries are India, Bangladesh, Pakistan, Nepal, Bhutan, Sri Lanka, and the Maldives. So these countries are considered countries of South Asia. Sometimes people also consider that China and Myanmar are the part of South Asia, but these countries are not considered as countries of South Asia. So, whenever this question is asked, what is South Asia, then we have to answer the region which is occupied by India, Bangladesh, Nepal, Bhutan, Pakistan, Sri Lanka, and the Maldives. That is considered as the South Asia. And in this chapter, we will study the contemporary positions, contemporary systems of these countries. Clear? So, as let's start the chapter. Let's shift our gaze from the larger global development in the post-Cold War era to developments in our own regions. Earlier, we studied about two power blocks, the USA, the Russia, and we also studied about Europe, European Union, ASEAN. But it is time to shift our attention towards our own region, our own neighbors, our own nation. When India and Pakistan joined the club of nuclear power, the region suddenly became the focus of global attention. When India and Pakistan, both of these arch rival countries, joined the club of nuclear weapon and they successfully tested their nuclear weapons, at that time the attention of the other countries, especially the countries who were rich and developed, became focused on this region, and this region came in limelight. Clear? The focus was, of course, on the various kinds of conflict in this region. There were pending border and water sharing disputes between the states of region. And when we talk about focus, then focus was on different issues, conflicts, and conflicts regarding border issues. Especially, it was the matter on which various countries were engaged in conflict, and some other matters were also there. So, besides, there are conflicts arising out insurgency, ethnic strifes, and resource sharing. And apart from border sharing conflicts, there were some other matters like insurgency, ethnic stripes, and sharing of resources, for example, sharing of river water and sharing of ocean water. These were some other issues on which there were conflicts between the countries. This makes the region very turbulent, and due to these issues of uh, boundary sharing, issues of uh, resources sharing, and ethnic stripes, these issues created turbulence in this country, and that's why this region attracted the attention of other countries of the world. At the same time, many people in South Asia recognized the fact that the region can develop and prosper if the states of the region cooperate with each other. At that time, when the countries were engaged in conflicts, some leaders from this region believed that if these countries establish cooperation and they cooperate one another in different ways, then this region can be uh, more developed and can make a rapid progress. Okay, then in this chapter we try to understand the nature of conflict and cooperation among different countries of this region. Since much of this rooted in or conditioned by the domestic politics of these countries, we first introduce the region and the domestic politics of some of big countries in the region. Uh, the conflict or the conditioned are rooted in the domestic politics of these countries. That's why first of all we will discuss the domestic conditions, domestic politics of the countries of this region one by one. So let's start. What is South Asia? When we talk about what is South Asia, then we take name of some countries like India, such as India, Nepal, Bhutan, Bangladesh, Pakistan, Sri Lanka, and the Maldives. So this region is called South Asia, and this region is bordered by different natural resources like Indian Ocean, Arabian Sea, Bay of Bengal, and the Great Himalayas. In north, it is bordered by the Great Himalayas, and in south, it is bordered by the Indian Ocean. And in east and in west, the boundaries of this region are not clear, as there are two water bodies in east, the Bay of Bengal, and in west, Arabian Sea. So that's why the boundaries of this region in east and west are not quite clear as they are in north and in south. So sometimes people consider Myanmar and China the part of this region, but actually these countries are not considered the part of this South Asia region. But Myanmar and Afghanistan are often included in discussions of the region as a whole because they touches the boundaries. That's why they are also included in the region, sorry, in the discussion whenever there is any matter which is related to any boundary of these nations. So in this region, in various countries of South Asia do not have the same kinds of political system. In these countries which are in South Asia, these countries experience different types of politics, different types of political system in their countries. When we talk about India and Sri Lanka, then India and Sri Lanka established democracy, and that democracy is followed by from the India being independent, and India is strictly adhered to the democratic ruling system, and it is also same in Sri Lanka. Sri Lanka is also governed by democratic system of ruling, And when we talk about Pakistan, then Pakistan experienced military rules and democratic systems as a whole. Sometimes it was governed by democratic system and sometimes it was governed by military rule. And when we talk about Bangladesh, it is also same in Bangladesh as in Pakistan. So we will study about these conditions in Bangladesh and Pakistan afterwards. And when we talk about Nepal, then at first in Nepal there was constitutional monarchy which was applied by the king of Nepal, and in this system the king of Nepal was the most powerful person, and it was feared by the people, means people were feared that the king may experience, may bear the absolute powers. And in Maldives, and Bhutan, in Bhutan there was constitutional monarchy in 2008 under the leadership of king, and afterward it emerged as multi-party democracy. And the Maldives, the other islands nations, was a sultan till 1968, when it was transformed into a republic with a presidential form of government. In 1968, the Maldives and some other islands of that region were governed by the presidential form of government, and in June 2005 the Parliament of Maldives voted unanimously to introduce a multi-party system. In 2005 the Parliament of Maldives, without any opposition, opted the multi-party system in the country. The Maldivian Democratic Party (MDP) dominates the political affairs of the island. The MDP won 2018 elections, and when the multi-party system was introduced in the Maldives, at that time elections were held, and Maldivian Democratic Party was the most dominant party in the election and won election and framed its government. Despite the mixed records of democratic experience, the people in these countries share the aspirations of democracy. Recent survey of the attitudes, okay. Despite the mixed records of democratic and sometimes military rules in Pakistan, Bangladesh, and king rules in Nepal and Bhutan, when a took place, then people of this region, whether poor or rich, literate or illiterate, young or old, all these people opted for democratic system, and they voted for democratic system and considered democratic system is the best government form. So earlier it was believed that the democracy is possible in only prosperous regions, prosperous countries, but in South Asia region, especially by India, it was proved wrong. And in India, there is strong democracy is followed in this country in which we live. So dear students, in today's class we will study up to this much, and in next class we will study the military and democracy in Pakistan. Till then, keep learning and thank you for watching this video.